Yes, hello.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in this beautiful day. My name is Steve Ruscigno, and I'm coming at you live from Evis's headquarters here in Vancouver, Washington, in our Lou studio. And today we're going to talk about the importance of an ERP system for specialty retailers. Lou, of course, us here, we have an all-in-one cloud-based ERP system that's specially designed for specialty retailers. So we're going to be recording this demo this morning so we can use it for future reference if need be. But what is an ERP? So if you remember the days with the Jeff Foxworthy, you know you're a redneck if, right? So if you've got a toilet in your front yard that serves as a planter, you might be a redneck, right? Well, with an ERP, you ask yourself questions like, if you're still using a fax machine, you might need an ERP. If you're still handwriting invoices, you might need an ERP. If you're wondering where your techs are at and how much of their jobs are completed in a day, you might need an ERP. So what exactly is an ERP? Well, technically, it's an enterprise resource planning. That's what ERP stands for, enterprise resource planning. Man, kind of dull, right? We like to think of it here at Lou as easy, relaxing, and productive. So prior to me joining the team here at Evisys and the Lou crew, I served at Oregon Hot Tub for 20 years as the general manager. And in that time, we took that business from about $2 million to just over $20 million in that time. And we could have not have done that without an ERP, without a system to help us manage the business. So what are some of the benefits of using an ERP? Well, number one, they eliminate manual data entry. We had multiple locations, multiple employees. We hand wrote everything. And then we had to package it up in an envelope and trust all of those employees to do the exact same process, put it in an envelope, put it in the mail, send it over to the office. Someone would receive it at the office days later. If they put it in the mail regularly, they'd sit down and they'd have to manually recreate every transaction we did in all these showrooms and in all these customers' homes. So one thing the ERP helped us with is it ensured that our info going in was accurate. Because if you ever tried to read a bunch of different people's handwriting and make sense of it, and were they using the right SKUs, all these sort of things. So with the ERP system set up the way you want, it really just makes sure you've got accurate information going in, therefore fewer mistakes. An ERP can also automate time-consuming tasks. Again, we used to manually write everything. Then we'd recreate it in this MS-DOS-based system. We'd spit out something on a dot matrix printer, and it was tough. So the other benefit is that an ERP can be an all-in-one system. And that's really important because it gives you real-time data from a single source of truth. And I'm going to show you here real quick what an ERP looks like. One we strongly recommend, of course. And that is Lou. So when you log into Lou, this is what the Lou dashboard looks like. So you can see here, it's kind of an all-in-one thing, right? You got your customers, your estimates, your sales orders, work orders, invoices, payments, inventory, big thing, purchase order scheduling, so on and so forth. So you can see that it's got a lot of this stuff. So it gives you the real-time data from a single source of truth. And more importantly, it gives you visibility across your entire organization. So in this situation here with Lou as our ERP, you can literally access it from anywhere you have an internet connection. So visibility across your entire organization, no matter where you're at, huge. So here we can manage all of our customers in one place, right? Click the little customer tile, everyone shows up. So all your customers are in one place that, again, can be accessed from anywhere you have an internet access. It also has like your retail sales, your point of sale. So again, you can create an estimate, you can promote it to a sales order, a work order, you schedule the task, go out and do the work, come back, invoice it, take the payment. It's all in one area. And then for service, you've got, you can schedule your personnel, your vehicles. So you've got a schedule, again, all in one spot, all at everyone's fingertips. So I can go look at my schedule here. And if I look at today's schedule, I got a bunch of stuff here, but all my personnel are over here. All my tasks are set on their calendar here. If I have someone calling sick, which we had that happen a lot, let's say that this guy here called in sick, I can just move his jobs right down here, and that's it. So now I've got all good to go there. So the other big key thing here is inventory, right? Inventory is the number 2 asset of most specialty retail businesses, right? We got to be able to manage and track it. So we want to have it all in a central location. So if I just go look at my inventory here and I wanted to search something like, chlorine, and I select my 2-pound chlorine, you can see I have all my details over here. But more importantly, look at this. It tells me what I have and where I have it in real time. Huge thing. So especially right now, today, with the things we've been dealing with in the last 2 years, let's be real. We got some really demands, constraints, huge demand for our products, huge constraints on getting the products. So being able to have full visibility of your inventory at all times can really help you manage that. So one of the other things that's crucial, really beneficial in having an ERP is your financials, right? So you need to know where you're at, how you're doing, what you're doing. You got to be able to manage and control expenses. We've all been hit with some hard stuff over these last few years, right? Every single manufacturer's had price increases. Every vendor's had price increases. The freight charges have gone through the roof, right? So really important to be able to look at your financials in real-time situations so you can make powerful decisions. The other thing an ERP does is it improves your efficiency and your productivity. It automates your whole operation, right? Or streamlines your operation. It improves like communication between your different departments. If you've got multiple stores, if you've got multiple vehicles out in the field, you want to be able to communicate seamlessly across your organization. And most importantly, it helps you to communicate with your customers, right? So that's what it's all about, is taking care of the customer. So it enables you to have all that information in one place. Everything's being tracked the same. You can give real-time information to your customers. The other thing it does is it can help you reduce costs, right? We don't think about this a lot, but think about printing costs and storage costs. You can eliminate paper. A lot of companies out there are really on this thing to eliminate paper, and I think it's great. You can do that with an ERP. But more importantly, it gives you better inventory management. Again, that's the thing that's moving the most within your organization. You really want to have real-time visibility so you can track and control your inventory, because you want to make great buying decisions, especially right now. You don't want to overbuy, you don't want to underbuy, you want to buy kind of just right, just like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? And I think the most key thing actually an ERP system does for an organization is it helps you make better decisions. Decisions can make or break you, right? We all know, we've done stuff over the years. I've done many promos where it's like, that was a bad decision. Done promos, man, that's a good decision. But in order to make these decisions, I had to know what was going on, where the trends are, where I had opportunities for growth. And the ERP helped me realize that over the years. It helps you integrate data from the different departments. You can make better decisions on products, right? You can identify your slow movers and don't bring those in anymore and mark them in your system to discontinue or do not reorder or something like that. That way, when your people are doing their jobs in the day, they don't have to remember all that stuff. It just pops up right in their face with this ERP. You want to bring in more top sellers, right? So this game's all about inventory turns. So we want to bring in the stuff that turns because that brings us more revenue, profits, all the good stuff. And then pricing. Pricing's a big one right now, right? Again, every manufacturer's raised their prices, multiple price increases in 1 year, which is unprecedented. We haven't seen that since I've been around. So it's important to keep up with those price increases. We used to call it in our business, we had to watch out for creep, right? When we have these multiple price increases, as we've seen over the last couple of years, that can really creep up on you, right? Freight. In my experience in 2021, our freight price increase went up almost 80%. It was crazy. So you've got to account for that, either pass that on or adjust your business model to be able to absorb that. So very important. And then one of the last things I think it really is beneficial to have an ERP is your marketing, right? Some of us spend a lot of money in marketing, and sometimes it's like throwing money at the wall. Did that work? Was that a good promo? We can analyze it, whatever. So having the ERP and having all that information at your fingertips really helps you make good decisions. You want to spend more money on the stuff that's going to give you return on your investment, and maybe less money, obviously, on the stuff that just hasn't worked or isn't working right now for whatever reason. And then last but not least, improve your customer experience. Again, it's all about the customer experience, true belief of mine. So it helps your customer service, it helps your support, it helps your team, set your team up for success by having all this information at their fingertips when that customer calls in and says, my pool looks horrible, or my hot tub's not working, or whatever it is. So you spend less time figuring something out because you have all that information at your fingertips. You can search for historical information. You don't have to go outside of your system. You've got it all in one system, so you're not using 3 different things to create a transaction. You got a separate credit card machine over here. You got to write up the order over here. You got to check the inventory in this system. So the ERP brings it all into one solution. So you tracking customers' orders, looking up customer history, delivering the goods on time. It helps you do all those things, but mostly it provides a more personalized experience for your customers. So with that, I'd like to reach out to my panel and see if there's any questions out there.
Hey, Steve, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, so we actually had some really good questions come through, and I want to throw this one at you. It's from Micah out of Arlington, Texas, and he's curious to know, we've said a lot of great things about ERP. He wants to know, what are the drawbacks of ERP systems?
That's a great question. There can be many drawbacks, but I kind of put those more in the traditional ERP systems drawbacks because they had to live on like a server. So you've got hardware you had to have to run these. You've got server costs. You've got maintenance on your server. Servers usually only last 3 to 5 years. You got to get a new server. So I'd say a drawback could potentially be the cost. But now with ERPs that are cloud-based like Lou, that takes a lot of those drawbacks away. So again, you can access Lou from anywhere you got an internet connection. The cost of it's very low because you're not having it live on a server that has to be maintained, the hardware updated and all that stuff. So if there's drawbacks, it would be the cost of what I'd say your traditional or maybe even old school ERP systems compared to Lou, cloud-based, all-in-one ERP.
That's great. Awesome. I'd love to hear it. And we do have one more. I'm not sure, this may be something that you're going to touch on here soon, so it might be kind of a transitional question here for us. But we're curious here, how do you successfully implement an ERP? We had that question come through as well. So if you're going to touch on it, do your thing. Otherwise, yeah, we're very, very curious to know what makes you successful there.
That's a great question. Most successful way to implement an ERP is obviously you want to work with your ERP solution, right? So here at Lou, you would work with us. We'd partner up with you. And the thing we want to do first is we want to understand your business. So in the implementation process, it's important to have an understanding of the person that's using the software and what their business does and what it looks like every day. And then how Lou kind of matches up to that. So we kind of all get in sync. And it's also a time where I like to use the word thoughtful. You want to be extremely thoughtful on your implementation of an ERP, of how you set it up so that it's going to flow in your every day-to-day business, right? So you want to have a system where the implementation process is, of course there's going to be training, but the system really needs to be user-friendly, because who has time out there to not only implement a new system, but then train their entire organization on how to use this new system? So having that intuition in the system is important, but more importantly in the implementation is really being thoughtful about how you set it up. You get one shot at like cleaning up your data, right? And then you're going to kind of live with it. So I'd say that's my recommendation for the most successful thing, is to really plan it out well, be thoughtful, and then you'll be able to use it, easy, relaxing, and productive going forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve.
All right. Well, So I quickly covered the really basic benefits of an ERP system for specialty retailers. And of course, here at Evisys, again, we do offer an all-in-one cloud-based ERP solution, Lou. So if you would like to know more about Lou, one-on-one demo, you've got more questions, you want something customized to your team, please reach out to us at lou@evisys.com. That's lou@evisys.com. And we'd be happy to connect with you and your organization and see how Lou could benefit your business. So that's all I got for today, folks. Thanks for joining me. Till next time, stay safe out there.